What's up, everybody? Welcome to another one of our Wednesday calls. So I'm excited for today's call. Today I'm currently working on building out just a lead gen roadmap for lead generation from at the very beginning stages to the more advanced stages. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Philip Loudon. I specialize in wraps, lease options, seller finance deals, and I help people to build their first $10,000 to $15,000 of passive residual income through selling properties on seller financing. I work a lot with wholesalers looking to buy and hold properties, as well as burnt out landlords and flippers who want to have more profitable strategies. So today we're going to be talking all about lead generation. With lead generation, I'm really going through is just the different strategies that we've used throughout the different stages of our business. So when we first started, we were wholesaling. And as a wholesaler, what we were doing a lot of was text message marketing. I'm going to walk you through it. Today, we're going to focus a lot just on balling on a budget and how to get those first leads, those first repetitions, and so on. And if people have deals that they want to go over or properties they want to look at or thoughts, let us know in the comments. Let us know also who you are, where you're located, communicate, JV, squad up. Before we get started, I'll kind of break down a few different areas where you can contact me and stay tapped into what we're working on. So let's begin. Cool. Okay. So definitely check out my YouTube, subscribe. We do multiple videos every single week, as well as we have these lives on here as well. We're kind of deciding if we're continuing these lives or restructuring a little bit. So definitely hop on my YouTube, up my free school community as well. But today we're going to talk about lead generation strategy, and this is from $0 in ad spend to 20,000 plus in ad spend. So when we're first starting in real estate, like many people I talk to, we're starting off with a limited budget. And when there's limited budget, there's different ways to go about doing deals. Before you do any buy and hold real estate, it's highly recommended you have $10,000 in your bank account, or you're doing some sort of double close or some sort of way where you have less risk and liability for taking down properties. So at the very beginning, if you're balling on a budget, we want to talk about ways to talk to sellers, because at the end of the day, where you really want to be is going to be in talking to sellers. Cool. There we go. So lead generation strategy is $0 in ad spend to $20,000 plus. Say hello in the chat, introduce yourself, bring questions. If you have deals you want to go over, bring them in the chat as well, and we can go ahead and do our best to look over them. So the first phase that we have is balling on a budget. So this is where we're just getting started and we don't have a whole lot of capital to invest. And when we first started doing wholesaling, I had two other partners. I think we each brought in about $2,500 or $2,000. We had about $6,000 to $9,000 that we had to spend on real estate. And so during that process, we started just looking over the options, right? There's direct mail, there's cold calling, there's Facebook ads, there's pay-per-click, there's text message marketing. And we started looking at the different ways to structure it. And based off all the research that I did, I thought that text message marketing was the most effective way for us to do deals. And so we applied our budget towards finding lists of people. We tracked down lists from the county. We found people that had vacant houses, who are out of state owners, who are tax delinquent. And then we took those lists and we stacked them, which is very easy to do on ChatGPT. Now we were doing on Excel sheets before. But we stacked those lists and we found the common people, because the idea was that if someone is tax delinquent, if they're out of state, and if their house is vacant, then the odds that they want to sell this house is very high. And so we did everything we could. We just texted them. And how it worked at the very beginning was I was the one that was doing the texting. Somebody would respond and I would call them immediately, right? So I was the one doing text message marketing. Eventually we hired a virtual assistant for $5 an hour who did the texting for us. And whenever we got a response, they would then pass it off to someone to call. And so that was kind of how our process evolved. But at first, it was just me texting. It didn't cost a whole lot. We used launch control. We got the list. We skip traced them, which cost 7 cents per number. I forget the exact cost. Maybe actually 3 cents per number. And then we found the most high quality leads from there. And then all we did was text them. So now, like looking back, if I were to start over from scratch, and we'll go through, like if I was to start over from $0, what exactly I would do. But if I was starting over at the very beginning, I probably would have taken that stacked list and added a few more touch points. Because if you find people that are really hard to get a hold of and do that deep research, those people are going to be highly motivated. And they're really, really good leads. So that's kind of our beginnings. And I'm going to talk to you about the different ways that you can ball on a budget. So the first one that we have, I'll just go over all of them together. These are all different ways that you can, when you're low on capital and high on time, these are ways that you can go about doing deals for free. One of the first ones is going to be driving for dollars, like literally driving, looking for vacant houses, looking for rent signs, looking for sale signs that are home done, and just calling them, right? These are, this is kind of, we're like boots on the ground, doing our best to get a hold of people in the cheapest way possible. And most of these tie together, right? These are all free ways to go about finding leads. FSBOs, so going on Zillow. Let's get out of there. As soon as a property becomes available for sale, you can find the thing for sale by owner. Every single time that a property comes up each day, you can set up automations to find all the properties that are coming up for sale by owner every single day and just be the first ones to call them, right? And so this is a really good list. You can just go be the first ones to call them, because at the beginning, we're developing the skill sets of structuring deals. So we just want to be able to talk to people. Calling agents is very similar. Like this is where you need a little more finesse, right? These agents are getting called by a bajillion people. So we want to call them. There's a few videos of me calling agents. And so you can hear how I go about calling them. Pace Morby has some as well with him calling agents. And you need a little more finesse, but these are also free leads. And now we're working on the skill set of underwriting and how to structure these deals. Driving for dollars is super manual. And we found probably about 3 deals from driving for dollars. You just drive around, right? And so as you live your life, like if you're buying in your own backyard, have your head on the swivel and be talking to people for driving for dollars. Just be looking out for these signs for rent, for sale. Talk to people in your neighborhood. Go to yard sales and ask, are there any vacant houses in the area? People are trying to sell their houses. Things like this. This is like hand-to-hand combat style. I'm going to check on you guys, and I'll talk about buy-sell trade groups, which is one of my favorite ways to go about doing this as well. So let's look at the comments and the questions. What's up, Shelby? All right. How to find these vacant house lists, tax lists, etc. Yeah, a lot of it, there's different ways to find these lists. You can go to list providers is the easiest way. You can also go directly to the counties. I personally do not like going to the counties. It is very manual. It's very annoying to deal with. I don't like dealing with bureaucracy. It's like my kryptonite. So I would just go to list providers such as Batch Leads. PropStream has some lists as well, and you can do their filtering. And then if you do their filtering and you go down to getting stacked list, now you're going to have like a very strong list that you can reach out to. Yeah, and then skip tracing, we just use providers to skip trace. So they're preferred providers that are used. I can talk to my partner about the ones that we used to use as well. Okay, so do you think these people with low equity would be marketing their house for sale or rent with those cheap signs on the road? It depends. I mean, we've probably bought 3 or 4 that were for sale by owners. And I remember one of them, it was a guy named Chris, and we were following up with them forever. And Chris went to jail during the process. And I was talking to his wife, and it was just an ongoing process of talking to them. And they're motivated, and what we had, everyone's coming in. The thing about for sale by owners is that when someone puts their, now I've done my own for sale by owners, right, where I've sold properties for sale by owner. as soon as that property goes up, you're getting called by every single real estate agent in the world. And they're all reaching out. They're calling you. It's really annoying. It's really hard to get through. They all want to call you to try to get you. There must be someone teaching a master class in to real estate agents that is tell them to like call these people a million times, whoever does for sale by owner. And so they're getting called by all these people. So like to stand out from the crowd is pretty easy. You just have to, call them, text them, say you want to buy their house. You can literally just text them on Google Voice and say, hey, I want to buy your house. And then that'll probably get you past all these other agents that are reaching out to them continuously. So yeah, some of them. And like all lead gen, you're filtering through all the bad leads. So not every lead is going to be a gold mine, but like you're sifting really at first. And as we grow in our businesses, the idea is to have team members do the sifting work. So the sifting can start to be done by somebody else. By the beginning, if your budget's really low, and you have more time than money, you are the one doing the sifting. Yeah. And it depends on what we're talking about here. But for sale by owners, it can definitely be good for reps because some people need creative financing. And also creative financing, once we start getting into stack method deals and partial seller finance deals, there's so many different ways that we can do creative deal structuring that if we have creative minds, we can then go to these for sale by owners and just give them options that might work for them because a lot of them are trying to sell their house. Yeah. So most people that are doing for sale by owners, they're trying to get full retail without using an agent, right? And it just doesn't usually work that way. So you're dealing with a bunch of random agents calling them anyways. So if you can get creative deal structuring, then we can figure out ways to structure that make sense. All right, cool. Love all the questions. And yeah, others, feel free to say hi. Let us know where you're located. Let us know what stage you are in doing your real estate deals. And whatever questions you have, ask them. We'll cruise through them. So what list providers? Batch Leads is one. We use Atom before, ATTOM, Atom Data. And it depends on how much data you're doing. I think Atom Data Solutions is they do more bulk data. So we're doing a lot of data at that point in time. But at first, I think Batch Leads is fine. And then it's just can be stacking those leads, right? Because, and once again, what's up, Wiley? There's different ways of going about doing these types of deals. One way is going really deep. Other ways are going really wide, and all of them work, right? It depends on what your skill set is, what you desire to do. So if you like going really deep and doing the deep research, you can find the ones that are pre-foreclosures. You can find ones that are tax delinquent, out of state, vacant properties, stacked list. And then if you can get a hold of them, dead, people who have passed away and behind on taxes, those are going to be really good lists. When a tax sale is coming up, you can find the tax sale list locally and do a whole campaign for them as well. You can do a campaign to kind of give them their options. This is one thing people do for foreclosures. You can give them their options of be a consultant. These are the options you have to get out of a foreclosure and just be of service. And if it becomes their best option to sell, you can be that person that they end up selling to them. And all of these are niches. And Shelby, we've talked about this a bunch, but the best thing is really honing in. All of them work, and it's honing in on one thing at a time. And so if that thing is, and you have to really allow yourself, once you find something that's this is aligned, this is fun, this is resonant, I enjoy doing this, this gives me energy and doesn't take my energy away. And once you find a way of doing deals in that way, you just want to double down on that and stay in there, right? When we first started, we just did text message marketing for probably the first year. And I think, we scaled to 6 properties a month wholesaling, really just texting. We were at a point where we were texting thousands of people every single day. And then we had other problems where we couldn't do the stack list anymore. We were just doing high equity and low equity. right? So we're just text blasting. And then there's other people who just go like really deep into one niche and they really just find these people. Because there's people like, for example, when I'm doing text message marketing, like there are people that aren't answering, right? They're not responding, and maybe with the wrong phone number. So then you can like, there's ways you can call this, you can do skip tracing through someone like Skip Genie, where you do it, which is a software, Skip Genie, where you can do like you pay per skip trace, and they actually give you the contact information for the siblings, the sisters, the brothers, and this is where you can start finding the unfindable, right? And then like if you have someone who, okay, this person's motivated, they are delinquent on taxes, vacant house, out of state owners. I can't get a hold of them through texting. Now, like, can I dive in and go deeper into like finding the relatives and reaching out? One of the guys I know that goes deep into foreclosures, he's really, really deep in foreclosures. All he does, door knocks foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, and then he will find their relatives. He'll reach out to his relatives on Facebook. He'll reach out to them. He would, even if there's a deceased person, he'll find the obituary and comment in the obituaries, like, hey, like we see this house is going into foreclosure. I wanted to see if we can help you with this. Right. So he's finding all these different creative ways to go about it. And he really just dove into this one niche and finding all the creative ways to reach out to them. Because the reality is like the easier a lead source or a lead gen strategy is to do, the more people are doing it. So like skip like and it still works, right? And like we just did texting, like we were in a red ocean and we could still make it work because we had more creative deal structures we could offer them, and we had better follow-up systems, and we were more present, and they liked us, so there are always ways to stand out. Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, so everyone, yeah, put your questions in the chat. We're just going into different lead gen strategies. I'm currently building this out for Rap Academy and going deeper. I'm going to build out a whole build out for like all the different ways to go about doing leads from like beginner stage into scaling. So the next one that I want to go through is going to be buy, sell, trade groups. This is like really one of my favorites. I use this for pretty much everything. And I'll kind of walk you through what this looks like and how we go about doing this. So I should be sharing my screen, and put your questions in the chat. I'll come check in a little bit, and I'll just show you, like we used to find about a deal per month just doing this. And so let's first look at Kansas City. And we can do Kansas City. We can do other markets also. Kansas City is just like, I know this market pretty well. So there's all these small towns inside of Kansas City. And if you're in Rap Academy, we have a whole build out for this lead gen strategy. I really like it. I've had the most success doing it myself. Whenever I try to outsource this to a VA, it never worked as well. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's just my ability to manage. So we see all these small towns, right? And so there's certain things with buy, sell, trade groups. If you go to like Kansas City, buy, sell, trade, like, and we were doing this in small towns also, buy, sell, trade groups. Just click it. You're going to find ones that have hundreds of thousands of people. This one's 7.8K. And so I kind of like go in, I check for engagement a little bit. I'm not in this group, so I can't see it. I can just look at ones I'm currently in as well. Some of them are public and some are private. This one's public. So you can kind of see like most people are not really getting a whole lot of engagement, but if you write interesting posts, you still get engagement. Where there's other groups like KC Secrets, which is another like cool one that have really high levels of engagement. Kansas City Secrets. This is a really cool group. There's 303,000 people in there. There's lots of comments you see, like people are saying stuff, and maybe they'll let me do it. Maybe they won't. Wow, this one's like a random. It's crazy. 334 comments, 6 shares. So there's groups like this I love. And you can also always talk to the administrators of these groups and then see if they do ads. Maybe they'll pin your post for a day, and you just pin a post. And usually my post goes something like this. Something along the lines of, You guys can see my screen, right? Okay, cool. So, hey, Casey Secret Friends, I just started doing real estate investing. I'm looking to find some projects to work on. Does anyone have any friends who may be looking to sell? Looking for fixer-uppers. Usually I like to have it short enough so that it still looks like this. So for this, it's like, hey, just started doing this. It's kind of like friendly aligned for like the type of group this is. Usually, so one thing that, yeah, oops. I don't know why it's not doing that. Hey, Casey Secret Friends, just started doing real estate investing. I'm not gonna say just started because it's not true for me. But if you're just starting, say just started, and people want to help people just starting. I did real estate investing and was hoping to find a project to work on. And so I can just take a screenshot of this, use this as an image. Boom, and now we'll just go to, sorry guys, technical difficulties. Okay, let's do it like this. So I like taking an image of that, and I can put some other stuff in the comments as well. So, boom. Everyone doing more project this month, and okay, so, and once again, this could be done better, right? There's like there's my image has all this stuff on it, but I like having the image, and I'm just gonna post this because it's fine, but when you do it, you can perfect it a bit more. Anyone have a friend or relative who's been looking to sell? I really want to do one more project this month. I'm hoping to find some good connects in this group, looking for fixer-uppers. Hey, Casey Secret Friends, I do real estate investing. I was hoping to find a project to work on. In this group, that's honestly like a pretty garbage message, but can be made better. But for the sake of you not watching me perfect this for the entire call, I'm going to go ahead and post that. And now we can kind of go into our notes. And I don't think you guys can see my notes, but I'm going to build out my own little SOP for this and just have that copy and paste. In every group I find that's really good, I'm going to focus on just making the messages really good. Like this one, like, will it be approved? Maybe, maybe not. And then you can also go into, I forget how exactly to find this, and the members. And then you can go into the admins, and you can reach out to the admins. So these are people that I can reach out to and just say, hey, I love your group. I'll do it with them. Go to Yosef. So, hey, Yosef, love your all's KC Secrets groups. Definitely my favorite in Kansas City. I wanted to know if they approved it. So cool. I want to know if you guys ever do any promotions or anything with your group. I think you guys have great engagement and would love to find a way to collaborate. So there you go. So, hey, Yosef, love your all's group. I'm definitely my favorite in Kansas City. I want to know if you guys ever do any promotions or anything with your group. I think you guys have a great engagement. We'd love to find a way to collaborate. right? And then you guys know how I like to do sheets.google.com. I'm now building out my buy, sell, trade sheet. Here, and I can show you, you can make these Google Sheets a lot prettier than I do, right? And this is what I have an admin for. My wife, my wonderful wife, helps me with this a lot to make things prettier. So group name, how is it? And link. So then you can grab like the group name, you can just put it here, and then do some sort of thing like date last posted. Kansas City secrets, how is it? Great engagement. I'll remove that link, so I paste it in a way that the link's already there. And then date last posted. I have automations for this also, so I'll just say the date for me. And make it a little prettier, make it how it do structure however you want, but the biggest goal is to just talk to people. And this is honestly how I start, how I do pretty much everything. Is just I just like make noise, talk to people, bang my head against the wall a little bit and find what works. And I love this way to do deals. Okay, let's take some. Okay, if you guys have any questions, keep putting them in the chat, and I'll circle back and check on you guys. Is this helpful? Is this let me know what you guys think. I love this strategy, and I'm gonna keep going through this strategy so we can post in a few more groups, maybe get some comments on it, and I'll show you more of my strategy for finding groups. So Kansas City Secrets is a good one. Once again, I'm looking at like the KC Metro, and the more I can get like really dialed in. I love Kansas City, Kansas. So buy, sell, trade, or swap shop is another terminology to use. So this is Johnson County. It's a private group, so I'm not really going to worry about it right now. Okay, this one's a public group. This is the Spanish one, which is cool. People are selling houses on seller financing in here. Okay, nice. $5,000 down. Wild. I know the guy selling this. So this is the same. They just posted from Marketplace, and these just didn't perform as well. And that's why we want to do stuff like create a discussion, go in here. I'm going to redo this. I have a whole SOP about how we what the terminology is. I'm just kind of rethinking it right now. Looking to buy 2 more houses. Wanted to see if anyone No. So once again, have to practice in being concise. Okay, so there we go. I'll take a screenshot. We can try it out and play with different copy. So I'll save this in a Google Drive, and I'll have access to these screenshots as well as I go about doing this. And so boom, let's just go ahead and refresh. Oh, discussion. Boom, post a photo. Screenshot. Hey friends, looking for 2 new new projects this month. Know anyone who has a property they may be looking to sell, looking for fixer-uppers. Cool. And I can grab that copy and put that in. I'll usually have a Google Doc associated with this with all my templates. So there we go. On the left, post one. Okay, and then we start collecting these different posts, right? And now we have different types of copy that we work with. And then we just do this. So you don't want to post too many groups at once. Typically I would do maybe like 5 groups a day, or maybe 5 groups every other day, or 10 groups twice a week, something like that. And then we'll grab this group. And you can easily build a system and process for this, right? And so we bought probably 5 or 6 houses this way, because you can get one house a month like this for sure. But like part of the trick of it is going to be Latino group. So part of the trick of it is going to be finding like the best groups, right? It takes a little trial and error. And also you can do the same thing where we go, where you go into here, into the members. We can reach out to Alizio. Oh, this guy has a ton of groups. He's a bunch of these Latino groups as well. Or he's a member of them. Okay, so we can also grab this and put this in my templates also. Hey, Alizio, so you have a bunch of groups that you're an admin of. I was wondering if you ever do paid promotions in the group. I'm looking to buy and sell some houses and figured there could be a good way for us to collaborate. All right, so that's another one. I can then go in here and go into admin message templates. And now we're just building relationships, right? These people have super solid groups. We have something that we want to do. Maybe they can do a pinned post for us, or maybe they can even let us. These guys don't do it, but if we look through here, you might find some other people that paid promotions as their banners or as their pinned posts. Is that pinned? No. La renta local. Okay. So this is for this one. Boom. Okay. Now let's circle back to you guys. Do you get legit leads from Facebook groups? I've never tried this to find motivated sellers. Yeah, for sure. We definitely get legit leads from this, but at the same time, just like everything else, things take trial and error. And so like what I figured out was like the smaller niche groups, I'll show you a little bit more of right now. They worked a lot better for us. The ones that were a lot smaller of groups, because just the communication in those groups were a lot better. And it's something about the small local groups that they have more of this like neighborhood feel to it. And you can even go you can legit go into a neighborhood if you wanted to. And we'll kind of play around with that now as well. So like Excelsior Springs swap shop. So Excelsior Springs is a small little place in Kansas City. So let's look. Excelsior Springs is up here somewhere. Where is it? I don't even know. There it is. So there's a small little area outside of Kansas City. We bought probably about 3 houses in Excelsior Springs. And so this is another cool little area where it's just very tight knit. And so there's not a whole lot of engagement here, but it's also how you present it. Like these people are so lazy with how they post on these. They just like literally pin marketplace posts. Shout out to the Honda Accords out there. They post these little marketplace posts and it's like not getting any engagement. This one actually did, but the price is higher than John Mayer, so people are just hating on it. But like no one's like being clever with it. And if you go into, I post in like paste more of these groups all the time or creative financing groups all the time. And you can see that like when people post these really generic posts, there's one of my posts, right? Nobody comments on it because we're lazy. We're just posting like there's nothing here. It's just obviously an ad of sorts. So if a lot of you see my post on Facebook in different groups, I'm posting like stories that are meant to give value to people. And so like they get 61 comments and 3 shares, and sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. But it's like, I'm actually like doing things that are different and giving value, right? And that's where the comments and stuff comes in. So like it's hard to discern because you look at this group and there's nothing there. If you look at this group that got 61 comments on my 2 posts ago, like no one's getting comments on their post because they're posting these really generic items. But if you stand out from the crowd and figure out like how to get better engagement, then you can stand out from the crowd and get people to actually see your stuff. So let's go into Excelsior Springs, but swap share. When I first started doing this, I was looking for the groups, like for example, Kansas City Secrets, where there's like a bunch of comments on every post. That's awesome. But then I never see that anymore. And it's very rare to find a group like KC Secrets. So now I just test them. And so let's even look a little bit closer. And then once again, I like KCK. So let's see if there's like a Victory Hills swap shop, right? See if we can find one of those. Neighborhood Watch. That's the Neighborhood Association. Let's look in groups. Victory Gardens Neighborhood Watch. I'm not sure if this is the right one. So KCK in there. Groups. So maybe we're getting a little bit too niche, right? But now let's go back and because I kind of really I like highlighting going deeper into certain areas. If you search around a bit more and go like KCK places, you'll probably find these smaller neighborhood ones. But I've mostly done suburbs. So like another one we really love is Independence, and that's in Missouri. Independence Community Awareness, right? This is, will they let me post? Maybe, maybe not. But you see these community awareness ones have a lot more engagement. 56 comments, 34 comments. Like these are the ones I really liked to play in. And so let's go to our wanted to see if you guys know anyone looking to sell their house. We are family-owned investors and was hoping to find a new project to work on. So another one, let's post it. And when you start finding groups like this, that where there's tons of engagement, like all you need is a few honeypots. So, oh, whoops, let's post it like that. Put my date on there. And then let's do 2 more, and this is kind of this is ones that and I can have some sort of scale, like a drop down, whatever. It's just to rank them based off of how good they are. So obviously make it prettier than this, but cool. So that's another one. Yeah, Kansas community awareness groups. That's where like neighborhood watches or community awareness. They have way more than the engagement in the swap shops. Because typically what happens in the swap shop is people are just posting on Marketplace and automatically sharing to different groups. Independence Neighborhood Watch. There you go. So there's another one. This one's like blue grains. And you can literally just go into see all and you'll find a bunch of these. Yeah, Hyde Park. This is a really good area of Kansas City. Okay. So I'd have to join the group for this, but you can look at the discussions, private. And so you want to join that group. Hyde Park, probably similar, where you see who's voting. This is kind of more of a hipster area, so I probably have friends in here. I definitely have friends in here. Some people don't like real estate investors. I don't know if I would post in this one because I get yelled at. But you see 3 comments, 4 comments, 15 comments. These groups just perform a little bit better. And once again, like one of the biggest things in just entrepreneurship is we're looking for blue oceans, right? Because if we're just like, hey, I'm texting people and it's not working, it's like, okay, cool. Like, who are you texting? How can you make yourself stand out from the crowd? And that's why, like, for example, for like wraps and lease options, like we occupy a very specific niche on the sales side that puts us in a blue ocean, right? We always want to be in blue oceans in one way or another. And, you know, we can operate in commodity markets doing the same thing as everyone else. And like, you can blunt force your way into getting deals and making it work. Like I did drop shipping for 2 years and like, we made it work and we were very much still in a red ocean, but we worked super hard and we talked to smart people and we surrounded ourselves by smart people. Same with wholesaling, that we were very much still in a red ocean with what we were doing. But like the general idea of business is you want to occupy a very specific niche. And so these community watch groups, so you can just talk to people running it, you know, and build that network out. All right, let's pop around for questions. Okay. James Wick, have a good mortgage takeover at 2.9% for you, Philip. Okay, awesome. Yeah, feel free to send the deal my way and we can take a look at it together. Yeah, for sure. So I would say, you know, most things, it just takes digging around. Like when I started doing this, I was posting, it took me probably like 3 weeks of just posting in groups and experimenting before I started, you know, finding the things that make sense. You start to really feel into it. And it just takes, you know, some time to get it figured out. It takes trial and error. And that's why I build these spreadsheets and it just takes me showing up. And we did this for probably like 6 months. And it got to a point where like, you know, I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it myself. Whenever I try to train a VA, for some reason, like it just stopped working. And another cool thing about this is if you're doing personal branding, which I highly recommend every single human being to do personal branding, just like write your story as you're going through it on your socials. Because that's like one of the most valuable things you can do. Before I started Rap Academy, I've been posting just value posts in groups for years just to give value. And it got me like thousands of followers on Facebook. And then I was able to, when I built out my education and consulting, I was able to like use that to have a following. And I also, the cool thing, even before I was doing that, I like writing. So I was posting stories about my travels and stories about philosophical musings and life lessons I've had. And then so I posted buy, sell, trade groups, and the people would go and they'd look at my Facebook and at all my philosophical writings and they enjoyed it. Like, oh, this is like a genuine person. Let me like maybe sell my house to them. And so it all worked together. It all worked really well together. And then James, you can just message me on School or on Facebook. And we can take a look at that deal. If you want to look at it on this call, you can post it here, but we're running low on time. Cool. All right. Any more questions or thoughts? I love buy sell trade groups because I feel like it's not done by many people and it's just a like absolutely free lead gen source. And if your goal is just to talk to motivated people, you can find one good post. I have to remember where I found mine before. And look back at like my old leads, but like one can get 12 comments, 15 comments, and then you just reach out to them, put them in your CRM, and then just get on a quick phone call, ask them questions, put their property in your CRM, and I follow up with them forever. Because always like the goal is in the follow-ups. and we always want to follow up with people. Okay. So let's do I'll keep going deep into this one lead gen source because I feel like it's valuable. And then we can take a look at, calling FSBOs as well as another one. You can create systems to have this FSBOs automatically. I always had a virtual assistant do it. Whenever new FSBOs came up, it would just go automatically into our CRM. Calling agents, we talked about a bunch. And then phase 2, I built out a little bit of this. I'm going to go back into buy sell trade groups, but there's affordable pay per lead providers like ZBuyers. Like the lead quality is kind of garbage. So you have to sift through a lot of the leads, but it's like $20 per lead. And if you're doing $20 per lead, if you're doing this at scale, we were getting contracts for $500 per contract, but we did have to sift through, which is really good, right? $500 per contract or $1,000 per contract is really good. We had to sift through a bunch of garbage. So it's good to have a system to run these. And then obviously text message, hiring a cold caller as well is borderline because it might cost closer to $1,500 a month. But I'm going to make a full session for all of this, going from $0 to $20,000. I'm going to build a long training on where we can go in depth with every single one of these lead gen strategies. Cool. So how to get something to automatically go to your CRM? It wasn't automatic. We had a virtual assistant doing it. So we had the VA who was manually adding it to our CRM every single day. We just built out a basic SOP. They knew how to go to Zillow to find the new FSBOs that came on every single day, and they would add them to our calling items. One other free lead gen source is deals that are being wholesaled. So if you've never wholesaled, like the reality of wholesaling is that every single contract that gets under contract, about 50% of those will fall out of contract. Some will be title issues. Some will be they couldn't find a buyer. Some will be they locked it up too high and they couldn't find a buyer. But these are all definitely motivated sellers. And so another list that is like a very absolute golden list is you can grab all the deals that are being wholesaled. So whoops, let's go back in here. So now while we wait to see the fruits of our post, I'll probably post in 2 more groups. Another really cool one is, like, for example, in Kansas City, I know Bridge Real Estate Investing Group is really good. Contract for sale. Oops. Okay. Cool. So assign. So you can go back in here and you can look at, you just start, and a VA can do this also. You can also use, not Melio. Melio. Is that right? No, it's my AI. There's an AI that can program to automations, like AI agents. And you can have them go through and just grab. You can even have ChatGPT do this if you want to. Like go through, go to a page and grab all these addresses. And then it'll just copy them to a spreadsheet for you. And like ones like these, if you have to reach out to them. But then you come back later on and, obviously we want to do everything morally. So we're not going to hit them up immediately. They can go back in 30 days or 60 days and reach out to those sellers and see if the property closed or not. So you just go and grab these, copy them, paste them, put them onto a sheet, and then 30 days later, and you can also train a virtual assistant to do this for probably $3 to $5 an hour and build some metrics around that and build just a list of properties being wholesaled. If you do that, you now have a whole list of motivated sellers. And then you can check in with them in 30 days to see if they want to sell still. It's not that difficult. Okay, let me pull my ChatGPT. Okay, cool. Let's do a little AI lesson here. All right. I'm going to share my screen in a second. I'm just going to first remember how to do this. Okay. Cool. So ChatGPT, if you click on the left-hand sections here, you can go and click on agent mode. Let's make sure we have the right group. So I did this to buy a bike in Austin. And what I did was I said, can you go through my Facebook marketplace and can you find the best deal for a hybrid bike? And it went through and it looked up all the pictures of all the bikes and it compared them to the market value that bike was and found me the greatest discounts. So I bought 2 bikes for like 200 and 250 bucks each. And they're like $600, $650 bikes. Right. And I had ChatGPT do the majority of the work and made a spreadsheet for me, narrowed down the list, and it saved me like hours of time. And it was super cool. So can you please go into the group Bridge Real Estate Investing Meetup on my Facebook and make a list of all of the property addresses where there are wholesalers looking to assign contracts. And first, we want to do a pre-prompt and say, like, do you have any questions around this to make it more clear for you? This would be a cool little, and this is just on ChatGPT, right? This is nothing super crazy. Understood. I can navigate to identify post by wholesalers. Cool. Okay, it's now going to my Facebook. It's now on my Facebook. It's in that group. Oh, I can't see. Okay, it's giving you a step-by-step of exactly what it's doing. Yeah, so they're looking at words like wholesale. So it's telling you exactly what it's doing. It's magnifying. It's looking for the post. And so you can literally, like, at this point, I can go downstairs and I can have my dinner and I can just come back and look at it and see how the results are. And so it's going to, like, before I'd pay a VA to do this, but like now I don't even need to pay a VA to do this. So pretty cool stuff. And then it doesn't want you, because it's a sensitive area. It doesn't want for you to exit out of this or go to a different tab because it wants you like watching it for liability reasons, because it's like literally in my Facebook right now. But I can just let it work out this and I can come back in like 30 minutes and it's going to have a sheet. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's like, I mean, and these things are becoming easier and easier to do. So it's like, and this is why like you can now hire a virtual assistant that understands AI and you can like 10x their output, or you can do it all yourself. Like I was doing it all myself for a long time. Now I'm hiring virtual assistants, help me scale different parts of my business, and I'm looking for that ability to learn AI. Okay. I have an agent starting to send me homes that didn't sell and are now listed for lease. Yeah, for sure. I would say those are great potential deals to go buy. They wanted to sell, they weren't able to sell. Those are good for creative deal structuring for sure. So I like deals like that. This is the paid version of ChatGPT. I think it's like 20 or 30 bucks a month. I use ChatGPT all the time. So I use ChatGPT, I use Claude. Those are like the 2 main ones I use right now. So I'm using, I'm still like, I'm not using AI to the as much as I could. Definitely worth it. Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, amazing. So let me know if you guys have more questions. Claude is another one. I can kind of show you how I use Claude. Yeah, I'll give you guys a little, before we head off, I'll give you guys a little just random showing of how I'm using AI. Okay. So this is my Claude. And so Claude is owned by Google. No, Gemini is owned by Google. Anthropic, which is opened by former OpenAI executives Dario and Daniela. So this is, and it's funded by major investors like Amazon and Google. Okay, cool. So Claude is just an alternative. So for my YouTube, one of my coaches helped me build out what we call a YouTube Copilot. And this is a document of all of the frameworks or reason to like use Claude. It teaches it everything about YouTube. And so for all my YouTube videos, I script it all through this YouTube Copilot. And this is everything about my business and all of my, I do a lot of posts. So I have a lot of like value posts I've done in groups. And then this is my feedback docs. I give it feedback as well. And you upload these files. And so I can say like, and it's just going to go ahead and with all these documents I uploaded to it, is now going to build out some ideas for me. So I just brainstorm with it. So how to underwrite a wrap deal in 15 minutes, screen share, 5 market signals that tell you a house will wrap fast. So this is story content from backpacker to raising capital, because it knows a lot about me, how Nora's one of the buyers for one of our properties. And so I can just kind of look through this and communicate with it. I use it basically as a brainstorming tool. And then if I said like, okay, let's talk about private capital. So let's talk about private capital, how I raised $2 million in private capital. And then let's work back and forth. And the next thing is then I'll ask me questions and I answer those. And then I'll have it basically build out the entire scripting and everything. Oh man, I didn't freaking share my screen. Sorry guys. Okay. Technical difficulties. Okay, cool. Oh no, I was sharing my screen. I stopped the share. Okay, cool. So you guys saw this. So yeah, that's kind of like how I work with Claude. And then I also have a few different projects. Another one is for my social media posts. I have every single post I've ever written on social media, and I upload it all in there. And then I just use it for brainstorming. So it helps me as a creative partner to help build out these different types of posts. So it helps me remember stories, helps me build out those stories, and so on. So I use Claude more for social media posts and like for my YouTube, because it's just like, you know, I could easily pay someone like $1,000 a month to do all my scripting for me on YouTube, but Claude takes all of my writing from all time. I can put it all in there into one project. And then I can also take the transcripts from all the coaching calls that I do and the transcripts from all these weekly calls that we do. And this is like the next step. I hired my social media executive assistant, and I'm now focused more on distribution, just taking all and building out a custom AI tool to answer all the questions of students at Rap Academy and things like that, just putting all this information into AI as well. So there's a lot of really creative ways to use it. Yeah, but it could scrape. I mean, you know, let's go back and check in on our AI that we just left to do stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this back here and then we can kind of finish her off and land the plane here. Okay, awesome. Awesome show. I'm happy you're enjoying this one. Okay, cool. So let's go in here. Let's pop in. Let's see if we can get a spreadsheet. And so you can literally just have this going on in the background and just leave it on. I mean, I'm personally like not that concerned about it stealing my data because it's ChatGPT. I don't think it's, I mean, it's already stealing your data, right? Our data is like very much being stolen in many different ways. So for me, like I don't care as much. So there we go. Boom. In 8 minutes, we have now 8 properties that are listed. They got who it was listed by. Awesome. I see it's all by Brandon Treat. And so now I could even say, Let's change up the keywords that we're searching to be something else. So let's say assignment could be a good word, or assign, or asking price. So now I can say, amazing. This is great. I noticed that all of these houses are from Brandon Treat. Can we please use different keywords to find different properties with different wholesalers? Let's try keywords such as assign and asking price and others along these veins, or this vein. Can you please come up with a list of 1,000 properties built out over the past, and include the dates of the post in your spreadsheet? Cool. Cool. And now I can go to the sauna or go to the gym, and it should be working fine. Let me see. I think I need to take it. Let's see if I go over here. I was not sharing. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, cool. So yeah. So this is what it came up with. Sharing. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. So this is what it came up with. So it came up with this list, which is freaking awesome. Like, this is 8 minutes of time. Just came up with 8 properties. I noticed that all these are from Brandon Treat, who I know they have a pretty big real estate company. And so I gave it encouragement. And I also said, let's try to use the words assign or asking price, because I saw that those are words that seem a little bit more present. Also, like Alejandro, who I also know, is trying to get deals from like wholesalers, and like this for me is like not the way to do it. Like, I have really funny branding in a lot of like the sub 2 groups and other different Facebook groups. That's always post these selfies. But the reason I do that is because these selfies are they perform the best, and so I've experimented with different things, but like I just do like throughout my life I just take random photos. And as they use those photos, they get the best engagement on them, just because like the algorithms favor photos of you, right? So, if you're looking for, like, I love what Alejandro's doing. He's trying to find creative assignment deals that are creative, but like you can do this so much better, and you do it consistently with like photos of yourself, introducing yourself, and so on, and playing around. And the personal branding game can go super strong. So. Yeah, I see asking price is very common. So I asked it to use the terminology asking price. So yeah, so task pause while you were away. So what you have to do is you have to take it out into a different tab, because it's seeing that I'm in a different tab. And then it'll keep going without me being on that tab. Just because the algorithms always are going to favor photos of you. Like what Facebook wants is Facebook wants more engaging content. So if you look at your own personal Facebook, I don't know how often you post, but like usually the best performing posts are the ones where it's like you with a group of people, or you with your whoever, your kid, your significant other, whatever it might be. And those always perform the best. So Facebook has like very specific algorithms. I feel very comfortable with the Facebook algorithms because I've been using Facebook for years. And yeah, but like just posting a photo of some random thing is not as valuable. Cool. Yeah, ChatGPT is like, it's pretty incredible. And then there's another one called Melio, which I've actually used less, but you can train it to do automations and train their AI agents to do automations, where they can go and grab all your social media metrics. I mean, you can have it, like, for example, like if we want to gather all of the for sale by owner properties from Zillow over the past month or so, I'm sure you can get an AI agent to do that. you can definitely get to scrape all the current for sale by owners with the phone numbers. So let's try that as well before we pop off. And then I'm gonna head off. Have yeah, cool. Okay. One final thing, and then we'll head off. And yeah, AI is pretty awesome. All right, so let's go into my ChatGPT, and I'll share my screen with you guys again. And now let's go. I already have one agent running on a different tab. And then, so we'll go into AI agent mode, and then hi, can you please go to Zillow in Kansas City and scrape all of the Visbo property addresses, how long they have been listed, and a phone number for the sellers. And then can you do the same for all the rentals that have been listed in Kansas City for more than 60 days? Cool. Just checking. It's interesting. It's not doing the video for this one. So maybe for Facebook they have to do. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So there it goes. And I think it's doing the other one simultaneously. I don't know if you guys can see the other screen, but we're still working over here on finding all those properties. Cool. That might be, that's not my property. Now you just get to sit back and relax and watch all these properties get taken. I mean, this right here is a freaking great list. And it's literally doing all the work for you. And then like you can also go into ChatGPT and just talk to it too. Like, hey, I'm looking to find the most effective way to skip trace data for these real estate properties and find the highest quality data for the best price. What do you recommend? Yeah, I mean, stuff like propstream and batch leads, like I don't think that the quality is necessarily the best, but it's the easiest to do and the most cost effective. Yeah, so I'll tell you with the 7 cents per match. If you have propstream, you already have a bunch of free skip traces, so that could be a good way to start. And then another one like Skip Genie is really good as well. Skip Genie is what I would do for if I have a good lead. You pay per skip trace. You can do manual skip traces on Skip Genie. PropStream, yeah, PropStream is fine. It's like it's okay data. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like amazing data. And once again, this is like also where I highly recommend that you go and you focus on what your skill sets are. Like for me, like I'm not the deep analytical kind of person. So like, I don't want to go find all the county data and the deep data. But if you love analytics and you love going deep into these things, that's like a really good way to use your skill sets to align your skill sets with getting deals. Because then you can just find, you know, if you find someone who like passed away, their house is going to go to a tax auction in 60 days. And no one's getting a hold of them. And you get a hold of, you know, the cousin who says, yeah, I can get you a hold of the daughter, who gets you a hold of the daughter. And the daughter says, like, yeah, I think I don't know what to do about that. And then it's like a probate deal. And you need to walk them through the probate process and save that property from going to a tax sale. Like you're now like the person they're going to sell to, you know, which is like, it's a fun way to go about doing deals. Because one, you're providing like deep value and service to people. And two, you're like aligning your skill sets with finding people. Like for me, like I just like to talk to people. So like I love, like rather just make a bunch of phone calls, talk to agents and build up relationships that can bring me deals. But like, once again, it really depends on where your skill sets are. Cool. So like, yeah, I could just let Zillow continue doing this for hours, and now we have all of this great content, and Zillow's figuring out how to find the stuff in Kansas City for 50 plus days rent on market. All right. Nice. AI also seems like a great way to collect the X and days on market properties. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think AI will be a great way to allow for you to do that. Can we get the AI agent to scrape addresses, etc., from something like PropWire or Batch Leads instead of Zillow? Let's try. Let's see. I've not tried that. But I think, well, with PropStream, you can just export them. So you don't even need to scrape them, right? Like on PropStream, you can go and you can build out your data, and then you can export that data. So you can find that yourself pretty easily. Can you have Zillow do really good or can you have ChatGPT do really good comps for you using PropStream is a really good question. And so we can try that out also. So let's go back to there we go. So it started, it just pulled days on Zillow. It didn't give me the phone numbers. Most rentals are less than 30 days old. Just kind of walking you through that process. And here I'd work with it, and then I would say, amazing, thank you for the FSBOs. Can we please collect all of the rest and make sure you copy the phone numbers associated with each of these properties? Okay, it's going to think over here, and now we're going to go back over here and make a new project. Oh, no chat. Sorry, my brain's starting to run slow. Agent mode. Hi, can you go to PropStream and perform and comp my property on 5629 Garfield Avenue and come up with an ARV and current market value for me? Oh. Okay, so see if we can log in. Okay, I'm going to take over. Here, I'm going to stop sharing really quick as I enter my login details. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, it's now logged into my PropStream, I believe. Proceed. Cool. Okay, so You probably have to work with it a little bit, but like these are kinds of things that you can have going on in the background. Finish. Let's just close and finish controlling. And then let's see what we can come up with. And then all the while this is going on, we can go back and look on our scrape of the FSBOs. So they can't scrape the phone numbers, unfortunately. That's a bummer. You can still get the links to it. So you can just have it do like a link to the actual property. So just click here. And then I think you guys can see my alternative screen. So let's bring it in here. So yeah, so you can just click on the links from what it gave us. And cool. And so you can have scrape all of those and also all the rentals as well. You can't give you the phone numbers, but you can just click on that and add the phone numbers in manually. And then with things like such as Melio, which I've used a little bit less of, then you can create automations to have it go from ChatGPT into your CRM probably. So you can probably have these automatically go to your CRM by doing automations through Melio and whatnot. So let's go to our wholesaler list now. Oh, it stopped. We'll do that after 9 minutes, so that's fine. Can you show me the current list? Now we just have a bunch of robots happening, right? This is pretty cool. Okay, open comps. So you can get it to comp free. It just takes like way longer than I prefer for it to, but you can still probably have it do the comps. We'll just have to kind of analyze. I know what this property is worth. I know the ARV is, so we'll see what it kind of comes up with. And this stuff's going to continue getting better, right? So this is like early stage access to agents through ChatGPT. Okay, it's compiling the spreadsheet. We'll get these this spreadsheet, and then we'll close out. Meanwhile, we'll answer some questions. Yeah, and the evictions list would be a really good list as well. You can just do like straight up an evictions list, and then skip trace those and call those evictions. Those are good people to talk to because there probably are some level of burnout might be open for some creative deal structuring. Nice. So this is our list of wholesale leads. So I got 19 in 9 minutes. So that's pretty solid. And then if I expand this, I can see who the people are that are selling it. And cool. And now we have the post date. So like anything that was posted, I mean, these are 2024, so in 2023. So you have to work with it and get to do more recent ones for sure. But like you can call all these people and to see if this went through or not. So, all right, cool. Awesome. Okay, thank you everyone for sticking with us. I hope that was valuable. I'm going to build out for everyone in Rap Academy, I'm going to build out this whole like long section on lead gen, all the different ways to go about doing lead gen. So keep tabs for that. Rap Academy members, we have some other good announcements of being in our WhatsApp group, and everyone else. Thank you guys for coming out and joining and hanging out with us, and just let me know. Always open for feedback. Let me know how I can best serve, and keep at it, and keep using AI, and enjoy. Have a great night. Bye, everyone.